go bring my dog for a walk in my high vis, trying not to get run over while thinking about education. And I thought I'd share some of my garbled thoughts as me looking at my worst and um, just thinking about and talking about education. And maybe this is where I come up with a lot of my ideas for the articles I write and some of the things. So I'll do it. I'll see if this is something that might be of interest to people, put it up online. Often I'll just stop as cars go by, and I'll try and keep doing it. Their videos will be about 3 or 4 or 5 minutes long, and generally they'll consist of something that's on my mind about education. So that could be a newspaper article that's been published this morning, or it could be just some thoughts that I've been thinking about and trying to put together into a bit of a post. And today is the 2nd of March, 2026. And after last week's debacle on the SNA allocations, I had thought that I would wake up on a Monday morning to the SET allocations, otherwise known as the cluster games to most principals, where a big long list of every school in the country, the hours of the SET hours they will have, and the idea would be it'll become a matchmaking ceremony where schools will scrabble together to find partners of 25 hours. You know the drill, the cluster games as they're known, which I find it brings out the worst in all of us. So I kind of thought, I mean, as most people spend their weekend relaxing, and I did a bit of that. I was up in where did I go? We went to Glendalough for a walk and had some friends over yesterday. But in between all of that, I decided that, as you do, or as I would do, I decided that I would do a little bit of coding. And I've been kind of thinking about these SET allocations, even though they haven't come out. By the way, just in case you're worried, SET allocations haven't come out as of 7:30 this morning. They may be out. I'm pretty sure they're going to come out soon. I just don't know when. Um, anyway, I've been kind of arguing for the last number of years since the SET allocations came out that really and truly the Department of Education should essentially match-make all the schools. There is absolutely no reason in the world why schools should be scrambling around trying to find partners. And although I know that the formula for doing so, or trying to do it and keep people happy, would be very difficult, it would be a hell of a lot better than, I don't know, trauma is a very strong word, but it's the one I can think of while I'm walking. Um, that, you know, if they could match make as best as possible, at least people wouldn't have to go through days and weeks of trying to find a partner school. And I I don't have the ability. I used to be a computer programmer before I became a teacher, but I was never a very good one. Um, and over 20 years later, I've forgotten everything I've learned. But there's this really good thing. AI is really good at doing computer coding, and I've programmed a few bits and pieces with it. And over the weekend, I I put the finishing touches to a project I've kind of been working on, which is basically for an SCT cluster maker. So what I've done is I took all of last year's schools, all their set allocations, the size of the schools, all that, all the data, got it all together, and I wrote a program to see if how good could I, in a few hours, so let's say in the space of a few hours, how many schools could I get clustered into 25 hours? And that's kind of what I did. I also took into account that all teaching principals have an extra 5 hours and they're allowed to add those to their clusters. I think so. Anyway, I'm pretty sure that they're allowed to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I did two batches. One not including teaching principals 5 hours a week, and one including the 5 hours. And I actually was surprised that the computer did all the maths and all the rest of it and mashed up all the schools. And I'm going to show. I'll probably make a video at some point this evening or tomorrow anyway, which shows how it all works and what it and basically I found that about roughly it was able to match make 87, 88% of all schools in the country, which isn't a bad compromise. And those that weren't able to be matched, well, they weren't able to be matched and they won't. So that must mean that every single year there is the case that I would imagine close to 85 to 90% of schools don't find partners because mathematically it's impossible. And rather than going through all the pain and the hassle and the crying around it, uh, how about the Department of Education just did it? There's your clusters for the year with your set hours. I mean, if I can do it in a weekend and get to about 87, 88% of schools with someone working full time on this kind of thing, because I presume they have people working full time on this sort of thing, they could do a lot better with better formula, better prompting, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. I'll probably make a video of what I discovered and what I made, and can let me know what you think. So, signing off in my high vis. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back again. Thank you.